Hey there, good evening, and welcome to Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show. This is a show that is dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. So we're back at my series, which is my favorite albums of 1975. This is day 14, February the 14th, album number 14. And we're talking about this album. Let's see if I can get you to see it. A little bit bright there for some reason. Let's try it on this side. Okay, there we are. Yeah, maybe there. Okay. Yep. The Who by Numbers. It's an album I've had. This particular album I've owned, oh God, it must be, probably was amongst my original CDs. So we're talking about, I guess that's about 35 years ago now that I've had this album. I don't even remember where I got it, to be honest. Better shot of it there. Yeah, there it is. I think it's just this angle of the light up here. It's causing it. If I had the computer straight, it'd probably be better, but I don't. So, anyways, if you haven't seen this before, this is their 1975 album. It came October the 3rd, 1975. Basically, it was done in Shepperton Studios in England, of course, in Surrey, England, and they also used Ronnie Lane's mobile studio for the album as well. It's about 37 minutes long, so about standard for that time period. On the Polydor MCA label, this particular one is MCA, and produced by Glyn Johns. Okay, so I'm just going to forward here a bit so I can get a look at the tracks. Okay, there's basically 10 tracks on this album. So it's not a particularly in-depth album. It certainly doesn't have the grandiosity of Tommy or Who's Next, and it doesn't have the kind of heavy ferociousness that you get from Who Are You? But it does have a lot of really cool songs on it, I think. And of course, appearing on this album, for those of you who don't know, is Roger Daltrey on vocals, Pete Townsend on guitar, Keith Moon on drums, and John Entwistle on the bass. I believe he also plays some French horn on this. Yeah, he does. Sorry, I forgot about that. There's a few other instruments. Accordion, Pete Townsend plays that as well, as doing some backing vocals and lead vocals too on a couple of tracks. Yeah, so a pretty solid album, I think. I don't think it's one of the best Who albums, but it's definitely a solid one. It's got a lot of really good tracks on it. I'm going to use the glasses and the album cover instead, because I can see that a little better. It's a little bright over here for some reason. Slip Kids, love that song. That's one of my favorite songs on this album. However Much I Booze, another really good kind of satire-y type song. Squeezebox, of course, is the big hit on the album and was the song that drew me to the album in the first place. Dreaming from the Waist, yeah, that's another kind of satire song about how we imagine our love lives to be, I guess. Imagine a Man, good song. Success Story, and these two songs not as keen on it, but they're not bad songs. They're All I Love, Blue and Red and Gray, yep, I like those songs too. How Many Friends, and in the Hand of a Face, Hand in Face, or a Face, which is a little bit more of a upbeat tempoed song. The whole album is pretty, there's a lot more acousticness on this album than you normally get on a Who album, I think. It's not as much guitar as their predecessors. But it's, and this I believe was done by John Entwistle. Am I wrong? Could be wrong. I guess I'm just going to turn this slightly so we can get a better view of it. There it is. So it's basically a picture of their heads with connect the dots on it. So pretty interesting album, and aptly named, The Who by Numbers. There you go. A good album. coming in on day 14. In the past, this album probably would have been higher. I'm going to say it would have probably been in the top 10 for sure. But over time, other albums have come in, newer albums to me, albums I never got to listen to in the day that they came out, and I've been listening to them more lately. Some of these albums are on currently in my playlist, and I've just slowly moved ahead of it. It's not that it's a bad album, it's just that newer stuff has come along that's had more impact, and this is kind of, a bit long in the tooth for me, so I don't listen to it nearly as much, and it's not one of the Who albums that's a go-to for me. I tend to go more to the newest Who album, and Who's Next, and Who Are You. Those are the three I tend to go to the most. Those are the three I listen to the most anyways. And this one is just not as big on my radar screen as it once was. So there you have it, the Who by Numbers. So please like and subscribe. Write your comments about the album below, and we'll just have a conversation about it like we always do, which is great. And subscribe if you wish. It's much appreciated. And we will be back on day 15 with another album on the list of my favorite albums from 1975. So you have yourself a good evening and take care. Bye.